And I am back like I never left. Surprise! I got on a different hat. Now, why do I have on a different hat? Because you need to get ready for change. You need to be prepared for change because change is a coming. And this is to help you gradiently, sort of step by step, get ready for that change. So I switched it up, okay? As you can see, it's got my YouTube moniker on there. I think I just want to be kind of real with you all. Because the last time we spoke, I ended the Johnny Jupiter series on my growth. I didn't really know what to do, what to say, and that brings me to this moment. That brings me to present day, because I really just kind of want to be honest with you all. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, nor why I'm doing it. Okay. That second part was a little teens dramatic, but I don't know what I'm doing though. So I'm really just kind of wanting to be honest, I guess. I still got the ball, of course, but I really just want to be honest on what I'm doing. And I'm really, this doesn't feel right. There we go. Not as far as hats are concerned, but as far as filming this video. I don't know what I'm doing, people. And I just told myself that I wanted to do something, wanted to make videos and just kind of see where things go. And this is the attempt, right? This is the desire to want to just be consistent and just kind of figure it out until I start to get some momentum. And I feel like this particular struggle for me, because this is difficult for me, in the way that, not filming the video, but in the way that, like, you have to plan something, right? Or you have to have something to offer. And, you know, because I'm in the early stages of my channel, I don't know what is good or relevant or helpful or useful or sought after or any of those things. This is kind of just like a transparency post, or you know what I mean? It's one thing to have people say that you have so much to offer, and then it's like a totally different thing to actually know how to package it and market it and give it, you know, wrap it up, you know, regalo, you know, a gift. It's totally different, and it's just like, how do you do it? How does anybody do this? And to do it for years and years, over and over, always having something new to say, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So it's just like, you know, in a lot of ways, I feel like I need help, you know, feedback, or I need a stimulus or some sort of something. Because it's one thing to talk about my journey and kind of where I've been and where I'm going and, you know, that sort of thing. But like that kind of stuff, although it is happening, it's also finite in the sense that once I get to a certain point, that's it. I have to wait for new stuff to happen so I can talk about it. Because I'm very much a experiential wisdom type of guy. Now there's old things that I can draw on, and I will, because they're incredibly relevant stories that I want to tell and such. And I definitely will. So it's not like I'm like totally out of like ideas or anything. It's just, you know, you don't want to dig into your reservoir of things too early and before you like kind of run out. It's just, you know, how do you figure this thing out? And this is really kind of like a finding your way in life type of thing. You're just going until you get it, right? It's like there's days where it's not easy, then there's days when it's really easy. And, you know, I think that I persevere pretty well when it comes to things like my health, right? But things that aren't so readily needed or aren't readily like an emergency or like it's burning hot thing right now. It's kind of like, what do I do? You know, what do I do and how do I go about that? So I will say this. I feel like the universe does keep its promises though. And by that, I just mean, so there was a time where I genuinely thought, now I was still in the throes of depression and this sort of thing at the time, but there was a time, there was a moment where I genuinely thought that the energy that you put out isn't actually reciprocated because I've been doing things for so long with good intention, helping out when I can, and just wanted to be uplifting, and I just felt like for the longest time I was just kind of getting the short end of the stick, as if my effort didn't actually, that energy didn't actually pay any dividends. So I was kind of getting to a point where I was, I don't know, disillusioned with the nature of the universe, life a little bit. And very recently, I feel like I'm finally starting to see the effort pay off. You know, the energy start to come back to me via, you know, various things and people. But it it really speaks to the, well, like I was saying before, the nature, kind of the nature of perseverance and why it's so important to continue even when you feel like giving up. Like it might take a few weeks or a few months, and in my case, a few years to finally get to that point where you know, you tip the balance, you know, because there might be so many things that you're having to combat against, antiquated programming, you know, things in old energy that no longer serve you or no longer serve the masses, but some people are still stuck there because they haven't made that shift. You know, all these different little things that, well, not little things, but all these different things that play a part in how you are going to be in life. And I believe that even this moment for me, where I'm kind of struggling to figure out what this means for me, what this is ultimately going to look like. Even this will be one of those things where as long as I keep putting in the effort, you know, I'll figure it out. You know, I'll figure it out, or it'll come to me, and um, you know, I won't have to work so hard and just trying to figure out what I want to talk about, or you know, all these things. But I have ideas. I'm just waiting to get back to a more settled space so that I can, you know, actualize them without any extra undue stress. So just you know, just one of those things. So just part of my dust, you know, as they say in like the grocery store when they're making renovations, part of my dust, things might look a little different. Um, you know, it might feel a little different for a little while. Just, you know, bear with me, and things will continue. Things will continue, right? They'll continue on, but this is definitely my attempt to want to keep on, you know, keep pressing on until I, you know, get to a certain place. So I think it'll be good, especially in the next year or so, you know, especially in the next year or so. But yeah, just things are gonna, you know, things are switching up, right? And things are switching up, and it's important to be able to pivot when things happen so that you're not stuck. It's such an important skill to know, to learn, because you know they say the only constant in life is change, which I think is a hilarious phrasing. But you know, everything's always in flux. The energy shifts every day, and if you can be a master of pivoting, then you know you're really living a very low stress life because you're not getting married to the ideas. and the things and actions and stuff, and it's got to be this certain way, and because you may want it to be that certain way, but the circumstances just may not allow. So, you can't control anything outside of you, but you have all the power, right? Because you can control you. You get to control how you react. You get to control how you respond. And that's the thing that makes the biggest difference. So I invite you to pivot, learn how to pivot, learn how to go with the flow, change direction, get your airbender energy on. um, but also to keep going, also to keep going, to keep making the effort, keep doing it with the best and greatest intention, because at some point, all that positive energy that you're putting into this thing, whatever it is that you're doing, all of it will start to tip in your favor. It just, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. You got to undo the old programming and such. And it just might take a little bit longer, but I promise, and if you're working on yourself, and if you're being honest with yourself, and if you're being authentic with yourself and the other people around you, that will also start to shift things in your favor majorly. You just have to be willing to trust that what you're doing has purpose, has meaning, that it matters. You just need to trust yourself enough to say, you know what I'm doing is it's got weight. It's got weight to it. So that's going to be it for this one. I just wanted to get on here and say that just because there's great relevance for that for me right now. There will be more, because there's always more, because we're living in the ever-present now. Just sometimes the form looks different, transmute the energy, right? So thank you for joining me. Gratitude ad infinitum. Guiar con el corazón. And that's going to be it. I'm Johnny Jupiter. And remember, there is no outro.